Blood, Sweat, and Beers. I am your host, Dennis McGowan, back with Hubertito, who is back from not being trampled in Kansas City. We found him alive in a gutter somewhere, and
Yeah, I
he's back.
survived.
But we are missing one here. Our president, Marcus, is doing something this weekend. I don't know. Did you hear? It's OnlyFans? Is that what it
I don't
is?
know. Pour one out for whatever.
OnlyFans. OnlyFans. That's what I heard. And we're back. FC Dallas was off this weekend. No road game, no home game. So we've been a little hungry for soccer. But since we didn't get to talk about it while you were here last week, tell me about Kansas City. How was the road trip?
Oh, Kansas City was great. Me and Charlie drove up on our own, and of course, EM had a bus full of people, which was cool. I think even though we were going for an FC Dallas game, we're tourists, so we were also
Sure.
trying to hit up some breweries and barbecue spots and everything, and
I mean, that's what we do. Beer
did
and
our
barbecue.
thing. Yeah, beer and barbecue was a good time. Felt like home, just a slightly different barbecue. Uh,
Not as good, though. Not as good.
it depends on what.
A lot
right?
wetter, right? A lot wetter.
I mean, it depends. They do serve some of their stuff with sauce automatically, which is a bit off for me, but I will say their rubs are delicious. In Texas, we tend to stick to the salt and pepper, which is great, but like, man, the flavorfulness of all that stuff. And the weirdest thing, though, if you've never had Kansas City barbecue, is if you order brisket, they do a thin cut. Have you ever seen that? They cut it like pastrami.
I have. It's a little bit more like a sandwich meat.
Yeah, and it's so good on a sandwich, but on its own, I'm like, dang, I want my thick cut brisket. So that'll lead me into the.
I mean, personally, I like my brisket where it's just fatty and falls apart when you slice it. But that's
you like that point. I hear you.
Oh yeah,
yeah. When that's what I like about my Texas brisket. Like we cut it thick and that'll lead me to the away section though. Half of our chants were talking trash about barbecue, which was really fun. And to the credit of the Kansas City fans near us, they were in on the joke and they thought it was great. So we were doing chants like Texas barbecue. Or incredible. Your meat needs sauce. Your meat needs sauce. I think we did one that was your meat stays on the bone. Your meat stays on the bone. And then thick cut brisket. It was so good.
little barbecue banter. I like it.
Yeah, but y'all watched the game. It was kind of a dramatic game.
It was a great game.
Yeah, the away section was pumping. People were loud. It's always easier to be
boisterous. I saw several shirts were off. Several shirts came off.
Yes. Well, it's easy to be boisterous when you're the away team because you start feeling like the protagonist. And I think goes into the Eric Quill mentality, right? It's easy to fight hard when you're fighting against something, right? And I don't know if that plays into the home away thing that's happening right now, but kind of feels like it does some. Anyway, though, we were loud the whole time. When you
guys came through on TV, like you guys came through. We heard some of the chants, we heard some of the noise. Saw shirtless Charlie and Luke, and
I did what I always do in the away section. Is usually we don't have drums because it's either too hard to travel with them or you're not allowed to have them.
Yeah.
So I did what I always do and decided, well, these seats are here. Let's use them as drums. Picked up an empty water bottle, started just slamming the seats. So I was really worried security was going to come by and say something, but they never got mad about that. But yeah, we got riled up every time Cauldron or the Blue Hell and everything would start a chant. We would always like twist it into our chant, which is a lot of fun. I'll say unfortunately, I guess in quotes, the fans near us started getting a bit more negative as the game wore on.
It's what happens when your team sucks.
I will also say we got scored on early, and it was a great goal. As soon as that happened, and we were being loud at the time, there was a specific guy in a white Titleist hat. I remember because I called him White Titleist Hat all the game. Turned around and was like, "Yeah, fuck you guys," and flipped us off and everything. I was like, okay. And then when we started coming back, of course, it was constantly, "That guy sucks. He was wrong." Like, but yeah, as the home fans were kind of walking up and exiting, they would like chirp at us and say something. Of course, we chirp back. Or like one guy was walking up with his couldn't have been more than a year-old baby, and he folded the baby's hand into a middle finger as we were walking by. It was so good. But yeah,
man, like that Midwest hospitality, huh?
Yeah, it started getting a little heated, enough so that about 10 minutes till the game was over, security, and this wasn't planned, came over to us and surrounded our section. So I thought we were in trouble or something. And so I walk over and talk to the guy. And they're like, "Oh, no. We just decided that we're going to have to escort you guys out when the game is over," which I don't think's ever happened to us in Kansas City. I don't know.
Did you put that in your ISD report?
Nah, it wasn't an incident. And so, of course, what it turned into, because, we're belligerent away supporters, was as people were walking by and chirping us, we were chirping back even harder, and their security was protecting us. But yeah, security had to come over, escort us out. It was pretty wild.
That's fun, man.
That's all I'll say about the actual match. But shout out to Cauldron and the Marauders, who hosted a couple of us over at their tailgate. That was so much fun. They provided some great beers, and I have a quick story to tell. I won't get too into it, but they have a supporter that's been with the Wiz for a long time, not day one, but pretty early. And the first thing he wanted to talk to me about was specific members. He was like, "Oh, is such and such still there? Is such and such still there?" I think he name dropped Parrish. Anyway, just people like that. And he was like, we went to my first away game was at Dallas.
Oh, wow.
And he talked about the Inferno. It's like what the Inferno taught them about supporters culture and like how they were able to work together and collaborate in the early days of the league and stuff like that. And it was really cool to see these old head supporters like, hey, we love you guys and we love FC Dallas supporters because of what we got to do with you together and learn from each other. And that was just really cool to see. The guy was just so happy about it and really excited to talk about it. So
that is badass. And that's one thing that I wanted to mention here too, is like, we do road games. We mostly, most of our road games are Austin and Houston. KC is close enough that you could drive up. Some folks head out to LA here or there. But one thing we do, and as members of ISC, this really helps coordinate this too, is when we're on the road, we reach out to supporters groups, and we go hang with them before and after the match, and we do the same when we've got visitors. Right? Anytime we've got supporters groups that we know are coming in, unless you're from Houston, we try and make it as hospitable as possible, at least until the game starts. But
we're not allowed to really do it for Austin anymore either, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean that's I think that also has to do with the way the stadium is set up right now, and that may change in the near future. But generally speaking, I think just we try and be as hospitable as we possibly can, even if it's if you're one or two coming from LA or New York or Chicago. I mean, Chicago usually comes down with a decent contingent, but if you're coming from St. Louis or wherever else, drop in, hang out at a tailgate. We're all friendly. Once we get inside, we hate your fucking guts. But outside of the game, we're
enemies
hanging out
for 90. Right, is what I always hear. Enemies for 90.
What does Bailey say? Beer 90 beer?
Something like that. Yeah.
I
can never remember. And by the way, if you're a beer guardian and you're traveling to an away game, even if you're not traveling like with us,
hit me up, hit Hubert up. Let us know.
Talk to us. Let us reach out to the supporters at those games. If you want to go tailgate with them, it's worth doing.
I know.
Reach out to the specific groups, man.
I know Charlie and Brian when they went out west, when they went out to San Diego, we touched base with them, and they had joined their kickoff party. They have a kickoff party the night before. They have a pre-match night. I forget they call it, but there's always stuff happening. So if you're going to a game, I know we've got supporters that live elsewhere. They're not in Dallas anymore. And we've got people like Colorado and stuff like that. And if you want to go to a game and you want us to reach out and put you in touch with the local SGs, let us know, man.
Yeah, again, shout out to Cauldron. I reached out to them the day before, and they sent me their entire tailgate itinerary.
That's incredible.
It was sick. And by the way, if you go to their tailgates and like you're driving or something, bring them some beer from Texas. They love it. They love sharing beers. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, I'll leave the away travel thing there. But
no, it's good. We don't have a match to talk about. We didn't have a match this week to talk about, so we can touch on that for a little while. But we do have two upcoming this week. It is a double or match week all the way.
Those have not been kind to us.
No, those have not been kind to us. Neither have home games.
Yeah, and that's my real fear, to be honest.
But Wednesday, so this should be dropping Tuesday. So this game should be tomorrow. Dallas takes on San Jose, 7:30 kick. We'll be doing a beer exchange. Why don't you tell the lovely people what a beer exchange is all about? Because we've only had one so far this season.
Yeah, which is wild. I'm shocked at how few Wednesday games we have this year. I'm not mad about it because attendance is better when we don't, but yeah, beer exchange. Come by, bring some chairs. Usually we'll have a bunch of coolers sitting out. Everyone just brings beer and trades it. If you don't have time to stop and buy beer on the way because, it's a work day, that's fine. Come by. Usually someone will share beer with you.
I will be stopping and picking up some myself. So we'll have some to share, but bring some to share with us too. And
we'll provide the ice. We'll provide the coolers. Just bring some beers, toss them in there. I will probably provide some beers as well. Trade them with each other and just have a good discussion. Don't make the mistake that is often made and drink all the high proof beers immediately, unless you're going to be belligerent not driving home.
Are you speaking from personal experience?
I didn't drink a 13.3% beer to start my last Wednesday tailgate. Who are you talking to?
No, you drank 3 of them to start your last tailgate.
But yeah, beer exchanges are great. They're casual. Bring a chair, come sit. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, we'll be hanging out. I'll probably be getting up to the stadium 4:30-ish. I'll probably be one of the first ones up there, start pulling the coolers out. The white tent should be up by now. So look for the big white tent in the parking lot. So less work for us to do, but we'll get the speaker out. We'll crank some tunes. Wednesday is also y'all means all night. So for those not familiar with that, that is FC Dallas's version of Pride Night, and we will have a few more limited, very, very limited stock of our Pride scarf. I don't know how much of this you can see.
We're donating profits of those, right?
I believe we are. I don't know officially to what, so I'm not going to announce that here. But
yeah, in previous years it's been Resource Center.
I
landed on that.
Yeah, I don't know where we landed on this year, but we will be donating, I believe, 100% of the sale at this point because we've recouped our losses on these already. But
and just so the Northern Guard know, we can donate without using Pride razors, so don't come at us.
But check these out. We've got a limited supply left. These are hanging around, and we'll have a few more. But come get them this week. Get them while they're hot, and that way we can start looking forward to what we're coming up with for next season, which might be even cooler than this.
And listen, if pride matters to you, now's an important time to show out. So
yeah, especially now, right? We're in a weird, strange world right now. So come on out. $10 cash, Venmo, Cash App. We take
I
it all.
Say cash only. I was like, what?
Cash App, Venmo, Zelle. We take it all, right? So come on. I think we still have a couple of jerseys for sale. If you're interested in those, we'll be able to grab one for you too. We've also got our standard scars. If you want one of those, why not get both?
Can't have too many, right?
But yeah,
that's what are we? Me with 30 scarves in my closet saying you can't have too many.
I did bust out. We'll talk about this a little bit, but one of my quests, I bust out one of my favorite scarves, the One Nation, One Team U.S. National Team FC Dallas scarf.
Oh yeah, it's a cool scarf. Unfortunately, for me, that's not the national team I support, but still pretty cool.
No, it is a very cool design. I think Soccer 90 still got. They were like $15 at Soccer 90.
Those are supporters. Not supporters. Those were season ticket scars one year, I think, right? Or they had one that said that one year.
They might have been. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's cool scarf. I know I have one, which means it was probably free.
But yeah, San Jose's coming to town Wednesday. It's going to be an interesting one with the layoffs. Sounds like Oz is probably not back for another few weeks. We probably won't see Osaze until sounds like mid-July is what's going on here, which is
I hope that's correct. This is starting to feel like early Paxton or Giovanni injuries, or not early Giovanni, but like early Paxton, where they kept saying, a few more weeks, and then all of a sudden, oh, by the way, he's out for a year.
Yeah, it was.
So I'm hoping that's not the case. I hate how uninformative they are. I wish they would just say, yeah, he'll be back. Like, I don't need you to tell me exactly what's wrong. I just need you to tell me we expect to have him back this year.
Right, 6 to 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Give me something, right? Give me an idea.
Of course, this team's always been terrible at that.
I will say that is one man that I absolutely want to see wearing the third kit. So hopefully he's back by July 19th.
Oh, he's going to look like a monster with it. That'd be sick.
But
how do you feel about this game?
I mean, it's Wednesday night, San Jose. It's always San Jose is always a tough one for us. And
I think we have a bad record against Bruce Arena. I can't remember that for a fact, but I think we do.
Yeah.
I assume most MLS teams do.
Yeah, that's also a concern. But I mean, look, they're rested up. Most of these guys should be back healthy at this point, other than Osaze and Pax. I don't know where Ramiro fits into this new lineup with as good as Alvaro played coming in, and I don't know where all these guys start to fit in now. But
it's not a bad problem initially.
Right. You've got Leggett back, and maybe it's time for Ramiro to be coming off the bench, like I think was the original plan. Come in, get some late minutes.
I think you're right. Look, for me, Leggett changes the team. It's crazy. I don't know if it's just his passing or what, or
he's a presence. He's got a presence out there.
Aura. We'll call it an aura.
Well, shout out to our boys over on the FC Dallas Agenda podcast and Ryan Figure's new name for him, Delube.
Oh God, I hate it.
It's terrible. It's terrible. But we love Ryan, and we support everything he does. He's probably
Absolutely love Ryan.
He may be the hardest working man at that club that doesn't get on the field, because he does their social media, their podcast, their radio broadcast, and God only knows what else, right? So,
and he has time to respond to our emails, so that's
right.
something.
And he shouted us out. We were one of the mailbag questions for the
saw that. That was nice.
So, yeah, that was me. You're welcome.
well, back to the game though. Yeah. All right, so San Jose is only 2 spots above us in the standings. They only have 2 points more than we do.
It's a real 6-pointer,
and they've played one more game than us. So that's an opportunity to make stuff up. We're sitting on 17 games. Most teams have played 18.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I'm looking at here is they have a +6 goal differential, and we have a -6.
That's concerning.
That's a huge swing in goals. So concerning, we're thinking about. I don't know. I think they're beatable. I don't know who they might be missing for national team service or what, but this home form is freaking me out. Actually, it's pissing me off more than it's freaking me out. I just want to see my boys win at home. Like, if I could trade it for the away games that we've been having, I would trade it in a heartbeat. But yeah, I mean, we're getting back to full strength. I think having Legette's huge for us, and I think it can make a big difference. I think Musa's getting it back now. And
Musa looks great. Lucho looks great.
If Lucho pulls back what he brought into that last game, we're gold. Even if our defense gets beat, if we can put the goals up, I think we'll be okay. We expected a tumultuous year in terms of attack versus defense, right? Let's see what happens. Until we get Osaze back, I'm not banking on being too confident about the defense.
Well, yeah, you got Lawless coming back off of red card suspension. You got Ka'ike coming back off red card suspension. So yeah, health wise, I mean, other than Pax and Oz, we should be pretty much in top form. So who knows what the lineup looks like coming.
Ka'ike is my one to watch for this game too, because I'm curious to see at his age how he bounces back from that suspension, and also I'm curious if Quill plugs him right back in or not.
I don't see why you don't. I mean, yeah, he got a red card suspension or yellow accumulation suspension, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was a yellow accumulation suspension, but I mean, how could you, as a coach who just came off of a yellow card accumulation suspension, really bench a player for that?
I think that the coach would argue that his job is to defend his team and maybe talk to the ref, and that's what all his cards have been for, right? Like, your captain is the one supposed to talk to him. Maybe your coach is part of that. I think that a lot of coaches would see a yellow card suspension as they do with a red card. You lost your position, you need to win it back.
But who's he competing against? Ramiro, who also just came off of a
red maybe card you're issue,
right?
Yeah, so maybe you're right. I don't know. It just depends on how Quill looks at it. But I'm excited to see Ka'ike running around. I think he's getting more comfortable every game, and I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, he's looking really good in MLS, and this is a hell of an acquisition, and he's panning out really well so far. Got a couple things got to tamp down on. He's got to get a little tighter on a couple things, and not to get these dumb penalties. But other than that, I think he's been an overall good acquisition, especially coming into a position where was pretty deficient starting the season, right?
Do you think we'll see Alvaro again?
I hope so. Honestly, that's a guy that I think, to your point that you just made, did Lawless lose his spot because he wasn't really the guy anyway, right? It was Ibby and Oz are 1 and 2, and then Lawless was the sort of backup here, and Oz is out. Lawless came in.
Yeah, your rotation player.
Right. He was the rotation guy. He comes in and he gets a yellow card accumulation suspension, or was he got the straight red?
Straight red, I thought.
Yeah, he got straight red. So, sorry, getting these guys confused. But Alvaro came in, had a great showing for Rook coming in, first game, first appearance, first Major League Soccer appearance, first pro appearance. Right. Next pro isn't pro, but first team experience, and he showed out and he balled out. And Marcus and I talked about this a lot last week. We talked about it, but he had some foolish mistakes, but I think a lot of those, and I mentioned this last week too, I think a lot of those mistakes came from almost he would have a great play and then was a little overconfident and came back a little too much on the next one. So I think it's that balancing act of how do we get a little bit better, but I think he really showed out and was really it was an exceptional debut performance.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for we'll use the word kids here. Unfortunately for kids, those are the experiences you get playing, right? You can't necessarily recreate a lot of that in training. You can do your best, but it's not the same. So the only way to get those realistic minutes is to be on the field playing them. So I mean, at some point you want to do that, right? I'm I hope we see more of him at least until Osaze is back, right?
He's also he is a
big boy,
physical specimen, right? He is
big boy,
big dude, and I
imagine next to Osaze.
That's
man.
what I was just gonna say. So
it'll be like when we had Walker and Matt Hedges. Like, oh my god,
just two giants in the backfield, headers all day.
Who's FC short? What? Yeah, I don't know. I think the game's there for a taking. I think we can win it. And you know what? I'm going to put money on that one in my head here. I actually think we're going to win this game. Start righting the ship in the home games.
I think so. I think it's time. I think we're in a good position right now. Again, like I said, coming off a bye week, getting players back healthy for the most part. Leggett coming back real strong, and they look incredible with Leggett in there. So it'd be nice to see him be able to get forward now with Kaique back too, because he played in a little bit more of a 6 role, and seeing him get forward is going to be really interesting.
Score prediction?
3-2 Dallas.
I'm going 3-1 Dallas.
Okay. Write it down. Put it down. Beers. Loser buys beers.
Fair enough. Let's go. I'll buy you a beer at the next tailgate on Saturday.
Great segue. Because that's what we're gonna talk about next. Because this will be out before that game as well. So Saturday evening we will be back at Toyota Stadium for the first ever appearance by San Diego FC. Will be joining us in Frisco for the first ever time, and that's what we'll be tailgating. We're gonna have a full tailgate set up, and it's gonna be a fun one. We haven't been had a tailgate in what? 3 weeks almost it's been.
Yeah, look, it's summer tailgate time, right? Summer tailgates are always fun but miserable.
Right. Well, the tent will be up, so it'll be, we'll have the big white tent up, we'll have our tents up, so there should be plenty of cover. I will also have extra sunscreen if anyone needs that as well. Look for me. I'm the pale white guy.
That's not enough with our group.
I am the very pale white guy.
He'll probably have a cigar in his mouth. Don't worry.
Yeah. Usually, I'll be the guy with the cigar, and usually the loudest one in the room.
If he's had at least a beer, the sleeves will be rolled up, and we'll just be yelling.
I'm not yelling. I just talk really loud.
Yeah. I'm very concerned about this game.
Yeah, this one, San Diego looks good, man.
They look like they were faltering for a minute. I guess we were their get right game, weren't we?
Yep. And they did not treat us well last time we saw them. So I'm hoping that there is I'm hoping there's a little bit of a comeback too, right? I'm hoping there's a little bit of a, hey, we got the shit kicked out of us out there. Let's not let that happen again. Side note, I've been pulling this up the whole time while I've been looking at this. I believe we are doing, and this is not official, but we've got on the list for San Diego's menu item for Saturday. We have fish tacos. So we'll confirm with Tailgate Crew this week, but check our socials for the latest information.
I'm looking at the injury list for San Diego right now, and if we're lucky, they'll be missing some players. Most notably, Lozano.
Take anything we can get. Is he still out for international duty?
I'm showing an injury here.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm showing a muscle injury. I don't think.
I'm asking you because you're the.
Yeah, I don't believe he's with the national team.
Okay, no. I'm asking you because you're wearing the Mexico jersey.
Well, remember, this Gold Cup has kind of been a depth search for our two giants, U.S. and Mexico. They've kind of been pulling some kids in and trying to establish some depth. So you're not seeing a lot of the normal big guns up there. You'll see a handful of them, but not all of them.
Yeah, there's been some interesting MLS performances in this tournament so far. Side note, I don't want to go too far down that road just yet. We're still talking about this game, but one absolute standout from the Gold Cup who has absolutely shocked me, Dante Sealy for Trinidad and Tobago.
They always say it's different when you're playing for the country. I don't know if that's what's going on there, but it might be. Although I still think we're seeing some of the tendencies that made him a bad MLS player so far.
But he's looked great in the Gold Cup, so shout out to Dante.
Yeah, did you see a screamer yesterday?
Yes, that was beautiful. Was absolutely beautiful.
Kind of a shame that they got tied back up because that would have been a heck of a goal to win it on.
Part of me kind of thinks is, what would a dude like that look like playing with Lucho?
Yeah, I think, and I might be misquoting or misremembering, but I think Buzz talked a lot about his work ethic and a lot of his just kind of stopping.
Yeah.
I hope he's over that, and I hope that comes with age. But we're not the first club to see that, and if more than one club has seen that as a problem, then it's a problem, right?
Good point. Very good point. But
so hopefully he's over that.
Yeah, he's got the athletic ability though, and he's
I want
more
him to succeed the same way that I see Jesus Ferreira. I want them to succeed.
Yeah,
like it's not get out of here. I'm sick of you. I'm done with you. It's not what I'm at.
Speaking of Jesus Ferreira, it is now 90+5, and Seattle is down 2-0 to PSG. So they will be following LAFC and on their way home from the Club World Cup.
Oh no. It is what it is, right?
I will say, better performances than I expected from MLS clubs in that tournament.
I think the nature of this kind of tournament matters. I think a lot of people don't put enough value in the idea that you're only playing a team once. It's not like playing a team in a league that you get to know each other, you can work for, and you're trying to rotate your squad in certain ways. Mm-hmm. A lot of these might as well be one-off games. Even if they're not in the group stage, they might as well be. And you don't necessarily have as much time to look up this team, learn about them, and establish a way to beat them. So I think that people don't understand the value of like a short group versus playing a long season, I guess is really what I'm getting at. You've got a set of 3 games. You pick which ones you should win, which ones you need to win, and you adapt accordingly as your points get, figured out or whatever. You just have to get lucky against that team, right?
Yeah.
If they beat you 9 out of 10 times, cool. I just got to beat you that 1 out of 10. And that's not easy, but it's doable, right? So you can see a team like LAFC hold their own, at least for a little bit, against Chelsea. Now, I'm not saying that they look like they were going to beat Chelsea at any point, but they had moments. And you've just got to get lucky once.
Yep. And I know a lot of people were crapping all over this tournament when it started. That, it's a cash grab, it's this, it's that. I mean, show me a tournament in professional soccer that is not a cash grab.
Look, I also think both can be true. Right. It can be true that it's a cash grab and, I screw Infantino and screw FIFA, but it's still a good tournament, I think, is where we're at.
It's fun. And it's been a lot of fun to watch.
And I think the main complaint you're hearing about a cash grab, especially from the MLS players, is that the players are not going to see any of the winnings if they were to win anything. And by the way, they got an influx of money for making the tournament and the players saw nothing for it. Yeah, that's
I understand that. But, also when the CBA was written, it wasn't, nobody thought this would ever be, even an option to bring in this much money, right? So
unfortunately, the problem for me there, and maybe I'm being a bit, pro worker, blue collar here. Why do the teams get to benefit from the fact that nobody thought about this, and the players get to suffer for it?
No, absolutely, and do the right thing by your people, especially the guys that are on the field.
Yeah, doing it for you. I think that's the main complaint I have about the tournament. I don't mind having a Club World Cup. Matter of fact, I followed the Club World Cup before they rebranded it, and it was every year.
Yeah.
What do they call that? That something national, whatever.
Cup now? International something. I forget what it was.
Yeah, I love that tournament. I watch it every year. I think it's really fun. You get the multiple styles mixing in, and I guess we're on Club World Cup now. We're moving on from San Diego because both of us feel bad about it. But
well, real quick. But before we move on,
a rant, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. Before we move on from San Diego, one last bit is again. Tailgate kicks off at 4:30 in the Red Lot. Join us. Big white tent. We will be out there. Free beer, free food. Don't know officially what the menu item is, but we have fish tacos listed, maybe additional carne asada fries. But there'll be plenty of food, plenty of beer. Come hang out. Have a good time. March in with us. Make some freaking noise. We'll get loud. I'm not allowed to say we're sneaking in pyro.
You've been watching too much Club World Cup. That's what's happening here.
I get it. So now moving back to the Club World
Cup. You're hanging out with the wrong kind of people. What are they doing? Corrupting you. But I think this is a great tournament, and the mix of cultures you get, supporters cultures, is so fascinating to me. That's what I loved about it when it was.
Yeah. Those Morocco had played in Philly. The Moroccan team played in Philly this weekend.
Was that or the Tunisian team? I don't remember.
I believe they were from Casablanca, I think was the team that was in Philly this weekend. And
that's Morocco, right?
Yeah, maybe. I think my geography's not great. Yes, that is.
You talk about it, I can figure it out.
But they made Lincoln Financial Field. They made Eagles games look like a charity softball event.
Honestly, though, yeah, it was pretty sick. It is Morocco.
It is okay. They They the busting out those flares, and I have no idea how they did it, but they did it well, and they smothered that building in smoke and flares, and it looked incredible on TV, and you could see all the fans taking pictures with it, and it was really cool. Like I said, they made an Eagles game look like a Sunday picnic over at the link.
Yeah, how many Morocco fans that are never going to be back in Philly ever again?
Right.
Take if you got banned.
Right. A lifetime ban. Well, I'm never coming back to this fucking country again.
Never come back to my
stadium. Great. I'm never coming back to this fucking country ever again. So what do you want?
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful display. I think my favorite things have been watching the different supporters groups do their different things. Watching the Japanese, the Red Diamond fans do the choreographed flags and everything versus Palmeiras just having flags draped and like the combined clapping and chants, and then the classic European just loud voices singing. The combination of all of it has been so
Boca
much
Juniors fans getting into it, like 12-year-old Bayern Munich fans. Like,
and by the way, that game was my favorite combination of cultures.
Yes.
I can't not make a Nazi rat line joke with Australia and a German team, but Argentina and a German team. And, the joke is obvious, but there was way more shots of Argentinian Boca fans and German fans talking and getting to know each other than there was negative shots. Yep. They were just like, oh, wow, this is your team, that team. I think I even saw a guy going like, dude, that's a sick jersey. Like,
I will say,
really cool.
Even stylistically, watching those teams play, I mean, because you've got the German game is a very precise, timing.
It's the machine.
Right. It is a very precise time machine. And then you've got this South American, this Argentinian CONMEBOL game where it's
Bulldog, win at all costs.
Bulldog, hack and slash, run into walls, kick the shit out of people. And just watching those two stylistically juxtaposition, it was a lot of fun to watch. And shout out to Alan Velasco for getting a gorgeous assist.
Yeah, I don't know that it counted as an assist.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know what the rules are, but
beautiful pass. I don't care. It was a gorgeous pass. Yeah. But you heard me rant about this, not rant, but talk about it a bit on our leadership chat. Is just one of my favorite things about this tournament. It's one of my favorite things about the tournament in the past as well. Is a lot of these European teams have not played against teams that are going to punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
And they come up against these CONMEBOL teams, these CONCACAF teams, that's how you play here. You see what the ref lets you get away with, and you do it. Right. To me, it's the reason the U.S. has struggled against Latin America, some of the Latin American teams, especially South American teams. I think of the Uruguay game last year in the Copa America. I firmly believe the United States lost that game because Uruguay played to the referee and the U.S. men didn't. They weren't willing to get dirty. And I think you see this a lot with teams like Bayern and Chelsea and European teams that just don't play against this dirty Western Hemisphere style of soccer. This grit, knock you down. I don't care who you are. I'm going to kick you in the shin. Soccer, I don't care if you're, Harry Kane. I'm going to kick you. I don't care.
I'm going to drop kick you in the knee. That's
you just won your first trophy? Neat. That's fine.
That's one of my favorite to the shin right now.
And I think your best European teams that are going to progress in this tournament are the ones that adapt to that and realize that's how this works. And they're going to be better as a result. The more different styles you play against, the better you are at reacting to them, which is why I think teams like Seattle, LAFC, even if they didn't win in this tournament, they had exposure to other styles that they're now going to recognize more in their MLS campaigns.
It's been a lot of fun to watch. Again, just watching the different styles and different fan bases. I will say my absolute favorite thing about this tournament so far was the Japanese fan who flew 9 hours from Tokyo to the West Coast to go root against the Reds because they are his rival. That is the level of hate I aspire to in my life.
Let me ask you this. Would you do that against Houston?
If I had the resources, absolutely.
Okay.
If I had the resources and the opportunity, absolutely. If I found out,
so it's a threshold there of if you could afford to just do it on a whim.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. But that is the like Kendrick Lamar level of hate that I aspire to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty bold. I think I'm with you. If I had the resources, maybe. I don't know if I go out of my way to do it, or maybe if I was already like, I want to go on a trip to the United States, let's just do it. I don't know.
But shout out to that dude, because that is some dedicated level of hatred.
No, it's phenomenal. If you haven't heard what we're talking about, it's literally just that. I don't know who Urawa's rival team is, but he supports their rival, right?
Yeah.
Flew all the way to what city? Do you remember?
I think that game was that one of the games in San Francisco, Bay Area, or was that the one? Was that?
Oh, it was Seattle, I think.
Seattle. Right. Yeah. And it was somewhere in the West Coast. It was a West Coast.
All the way to Seattle, which I guess, to be fair, is one of the more common Japanese destinations in the U.S.
Still a 9-hour flight.
9-hour flight.
9+ hour flight
to go root against his rival team in a foreign stadium.
And showed up in full River Plate gear because they were playing River Plate.
So good. So incredible.
Showed up full kit. Full kit wanker, River Plate. But absolutely incredible levels of hate I aspire to someday.
Yeah. The Club World Cup has definitely brought some good out. It's been fun.
Yeah, and look, every tournament's a cash grab, right? The Gold Cup's a cash grab. MLS Cup's a cash grab. Champions League is a cash grab.
Wait, let me restructure that. The Gold Cup is a cash grab when Mexico plays.
When Mexico plays in the United States, yes.
The rest of the games are whoever shows up.
Yeah.
But and you know, Lord willing, CONCACAF gods allow us to have a U.S.-Mexico final. That's a cash grab.
Yeah. But
they were sweating last night, man. If we had gotten U.S. Mexico in the quarterfinal, CONCACAF would have just lost it.
Yeah, they would have
so angry.
But but speaking of which, it has been an exciting weekend of soccer, at least in my world, because having a week off from not going to a game or watching a game or hosting a watch party or tailgate or anything else, I was bored. So Saturday afternoon, I drove my ass up to good old Sherman, Texas, up in went to historic Bearcat Stadium over at Sherman High School.
They constantly call it historic. I think that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know what makes it historic, but that's what it says on the board outside when you walk in. It's historic Bearcat Stadium, so that's what we're calling it. Nice little high school stadium, a real old school, high school stadium, a couple thousand seats.
As I have to bring up every time we talk about Texoma, I've played soccer there.
Yes.
In high school, I played against them there.
Yeah, you've brought that up several times. But it's a cool little stadium, right?
Connection.
It's a cool little benches only, hot as hell because it's Texas summer. It's hot. But I enjoyed a great match. Texoma took on Charlotte Independence. Charleston Battery, I'm thinking. They hosted Charlotte Independence, and they secured the 3-2 victory with the game winner, and I think it was like 90+8. Absolutely poorly officiated game, if I do say so myself.
Have you watched many of their games in the past?
Yeah.
The refereeing level at USL 2, I think, right?
USL 1.
1. Oh, okay. I thought they were 2.
No, they're 1.
Well, USL 1's usually a little bit better than that, then. Oof.
Well, most of the ref crew was your standard USL crew, but there was the assistant referee who I became very entwined with as the evening, very well acquainted with as the evening went on. Was wearing a FIFA patch. So he had his FIFA badge on, and I pointed out that the reason that they sent him up to Sherman with his FIFA badge and not down to Arlington on Sunday was because he played the game with his head up his ass the entire time.
Oh, we love dogging on a ref, don't we?
Oh yeah. No, I will say I've never actually been addressed directly by a referee before.
Yeah.
So that was
doesn't
fun.
Happen often at MLS level.
No, but
too much separation.
Yeah, no, I was pretty much.
We like to call that no accountability.
I was pretty much sitting right on the field, and they were lucky I left my megaphone in the car.
Let me ask you: have you gotten to the level of referee hatred that you look them up before every game yet?
Not yet, but I might do that this week.
You have FotMob, don't you?
Yes, I do.
FotMob usually lists the referee for MLS games.
Well, let's see who's doing it.
That's why you always hear me yelling names like, "Come on, Ted! Come on, Steve!" Of course, we don't get Ted Uncle anymore, thank God. But
all right, well, writing that one down for Wednesday. But Yeah, Texoma, cool little, like I said, cool little high school stadium. They had 35% off merch sales. They were giving out specials, 2 for $20 tickets for the next game.
What's their merch like?
They got some really cool merch. They've got their jerseys are gorgeous. I've worn that on here before. The red and white stripe, but their second kit is an all black kit, which is strange to be wearing in the heat of a Texoma shirt.
I don't know, man.
Summer,
Peter brought this up. I think Peter brought that up in Third Degree, and Dan Crook, wouldn't call it a rebuttal, said you're right, but they're so well designed now.
Yeah,
you don't really notice the difference.
You've got the sweat tech and all whatever else they've got. I mean, they're gorgeous kits regardless. And they were wearing their blacks. I almost wanted to start calling them the All Blacks, but
I don't know. I love the birds. I love that that's a thing.
I do, but there were way too many people yelling "Go Birds" for my personal liking.
Oh my god! Well, bad idea in Dallas.
Way too many people for my liking yelling "Go Birds." Just not my thing. And as you can see up here, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but
we're gonna start being like "Fly, Mockingbirds, fly!" Like.
Yeah. They also have not one but 2 mascots, one for each bird on the crest.
So, oh, that's awesome!
And they were cool as well. But yeah, as I was jaw jacking with the ref, Scott, one of our members and Third Degree member, Scott, was sitting up behind us towards the top of the row, and he sent me a message. He goes, "You're gonna get a yellow card." I'm like, "That's the dream."
Sounds great.
That's the dream. Can I get them to autograph it after the game? Can I get a copy of the yellow card?
That's a dream, to get ejected by the ref, not security.
Not security. But the
proper hooliganism.
Yeah, well, like I said, there were some bad calls. One of them led to what I thought was an incredibly soft penalty to draw it level at 80 in the 88th minute.
I was following along. That was dramatic. I was getting ready to text and go, "Dang!" Like.
What
a terrible way for it to end.
It was not great. And then there was the preceding 5 or 6 minutes after that just was bad call after bad call after bad call after bad call, which resulted in Texoma's coach getting a red and getting sent off.
I missed that.
Yeah, Texoma's coach got sent off in like 93 and or 90 plus 3, and then they still managed to eke out a winner, right? They still managed to eke out that late goal, and it was a beautiful goal too. A couple gorgeous goals, but that one was it was nice. The place lit up a little bit, and they're starting to get a little culture going up there. You mentioned you guys were drumming on the seats. They had some Home Depot buckets that they were drumming on up there.
And listen, in a stadium like that, it's metal seating, right? Those are perfect for that too. Yeah.
They were drumming on some Home Depot buckets. Somebody had a little small, like a handheld. I don't know if you like a small drum like the one they carry at Trinity.
Oh, that's awesome.
They had one of those. Somebody had a little bit of a like an air horn. Sounded like a little bit of a train horn. There was a cowbell
supporters group, or is it just people getting together?
No, it was just they were people sitting on like opposite ends of the stadium playing their own stuff. And like at one point, like I was like, it's not my stadium, it's not my team, not my home. But it was like I almost wanted to just be like, you, and you come with me. We're gonna learn some chants today.
Well, you know what? In my experience going to lower league soccer, when I say lower league, I'm not talking like USL 1, 2. I'm talking like USPL or whatever it was, and MPSL kind of stuff. That was the vibe at those games. And anybody who was there with a noisemaker, like they were there to make noise. And if you did get them together, collaboration was so easy. And there's only like 100 of you in the stadium anyways. So like you run the stadium. Yeah. With just a handful of you. And it's really easy to create an atmosphere there. It really is. And in my experience, which was mostly with Oakland County Soccer Club up in Michigan, which, by the way, used to have Supporters Trust. I was part of Supporters Trust, which was one of the coolest experiences of my life. It was just a group of us that were getting there and the cowbells or something. And like we started a supporters group called the Elmwood Elite. But really, all it was the people that were just choosing to be loud. We weren't even that organized, but you got enough of us like getting a beer before or after the game, and that spirals into there's at least enough collaboration that we have one voice. And that is sick. And it's so much fun at that level, and it feels so organic. And I am a proponent of the idea that if you're worried about organic, it's already not organic. But
right.
I think it's worth thinking about, especially at those levels, and that's so cool. I love
it.
I'm jealous that you went to that game.
Like I said, it was fun, and we should absolutely make a trip up next opportunity. We should probably do a group trip up there. I think get a couple Guardians up there, get a little noisy, get a little rowdy, have a little fun. We got 903 Brewery around the corner that they do some pregame specials. So,
oh yeah, I forgot that was in Sherman.
Yeah, they're it's literally walking distance to the stadium. So they do a little pregame over there, and it sounds like a good spot to start a march over. But I will say, if your club is gonna be two birds on the crest, y'all need to learn Wings of a Sparrow.
So you're saying it's a mockingbird, and what is the other bird?
It is the state bird of Texas and the state bird of Oklahoma, or the
shoot,
the two birds on the crest. But yeah,
you can take some chance with that. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's sick. Yeah, I'll join you for a trip up there sometime. That sounds awesome. Would you go again on a whim? Just
absolutely, a lot of fun. Tickets are dirt cheap, right? You can get into the stadium for like $10, right? I bought the front row tickets of the front section there, and it was they were 20 and change each, but they get cheaper than that, and they have 2-for-1 deals and all sorts of stuff. So
let's make a commitment here then. All right, let's commit to go to every single major Dallas soccer team we can think of that's pro. Right?
DBG side quests.
Let's do a side quest here. Let's try to hit McKinney, Denton, Fort Worth. I still got to go to Texoma. I would say those are the main ones initially we should try to hit.
I mean, we can count North Texas too. Arlington.
Yeah, could do that. I'm for that.
DBG side quest. Let us know when you want to go to a game. We're going to do it together. Let's go.
Yeah, and I do want to rotate. I do want to pivot that into something here. We've got a lot of members that travel to random games. It's not always even pro, right? You could just
we love your Saturday local soccer.
Or just adult league and you're playing a little beer league. Let us know if you're out there doing that. If you're a member of DBG or you're just adjacent to DBG, take your scarf or take a picture of it, post it, or just tag us saying, hey, DBG here on a Sunday league game. Like we want to see that people are out there and we want to be able to promote that. And our goal is to support local soccer in DFW.
Yep.
Like we're an FC Dallas first supporters group,
but we want to promote. Right? We're all soccer nerds. Yeah, we love the game.
Yeah, well, you got to think about where our members are at. Dennis, if you're comfortable, where do you live?
I'm out in Rockwall County, so I'm a little further west of you, but you're out in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Yeah, and I'm even further out in Henderson County, middle of nowhere. We've got members that are far away.
Right, so, we've got members in Fort Worth. We've got members up in Denton. We have obviously Frisco near the stadium, but we've got members that come up from down south, Mansfield, South Dallas. We've got membership all over the place. The Metroplex is just big, and that's what it is. And we are like you just said, we are primarily an FC Dallas supporters group. But at the end of the day, we are all over the place. We all love the game. We all love going to games, watching games. So if you got a local game that's around you, hell, if your kids are playing in a big game coming up or something, and you want us to come and bring the drums, let us know. We'll see if we can work it out.
And man, if you go to a brewery, tag us about it. We want to be involved in your life. I want to be your best friend sitting in that bar stool next to you.
Beer and football. That's what DBG does.
Yeah. What else we got?
So in additional DBG side quests, a good group of us headed over to AT&T Stadium on Sunday, the big the non-union monolith that is known as Jerry World. Where I come from, only unions build stadiums, but
and city taxpayers, right? Wait, no, never mind. I was thinking somewhere else.
No, where I come from, that we pay unions to build stadiums. None of the scab bullshit. But anyway, bunch of us started out at Texas Live, walked over.
That's why you're not the most valuable team in sports history.
Exactly. That's what it is.
I just got to give you the only thing I got as a Dallas Cowboys fan. That's all I have.
That's fine.
I have nothing.
You got the cheerleaders too. It's fine.
Fair enough.
But USMNT played Haiti in a meaningless game Sunday at AT&T Stadium. USMNT had already, or meaningless for US anyway, because they'd already qualified.
Yeah, but it wouldn't matter what opponent they got.
Less than meaningful. Okay. Less than meaningful.
Yeah.
They went on and won that one 2-1 with goals from Malik Tillman, who has done an incredible job this cup so far.
And how bad did you feel for Tillman having 2 called back later? Oh my goodness.
Well, at least one of those was a goal. The one off his chest that was off his chest. That was not a handball.
I don't know, man. As soon as he scored it, he walked over and was going,
yeah, I guess fine. But
I think it hit here-ish.
Yeah, that's just a big goal.
Think there's an argument to be made that that's not a handball. But anyway, that's not the point. Keep going.
Nah, big Pat Ajamang scored the winner there.
Hell of a touch.
Hell of a touch, and
holy cow!
I know there's a lot of Pat hate going on around, but USMNT Twitter is the USMNT internet is like the internet wrestling community, right? It's a bunch.
We don't talk enough about how the U.S. men's national team can't find a striker, and FC Dallas just couldn't for so long.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. They've got 2 strikers that are laid up with injuries right now.
Sure, Pepe and
not Sargent. Sargent wasn't called up because Pooch doesn't rate him. But you've got Pepe's hurt. He's been out with the leg injury for what, since like March?
Yeah, no news is good news on that injury, though, I think.
Right. And then you've got Balogun.
Oh, that's the one. I was blanking. I couldn't figure out who the other guy was.
Valorian's hurt too, right? So you've got 2 guys that are hurt.
Do you consider him like a front runner?
I think he's probably 2 at this point. I think he's probably number 2 on that team.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he was 1 or 2. Like,
just one.
It's U.S. men's soccer, so I'll probably get crucified for the opinion. But
it's like I said, it's like the internet wrestling community. It is just it's bad takes. It's constantly bad takes.
Yeah, I'll give you my take on supporter internet after you're done going over this game.
No, sure. But just going back to yours, I mean, if you think about it, in my opinion, at least you got Baloo and Pepe are your 1 and 2, right? And behind them, you've got Haji, and I think Pat is the next guy up, right? I think Pat is a solid 3-4 option for this club, especially with the way Sargent has looked, and Pooch doesn't rate him. So that's where we're at. But this was a great experience, and shout out to USSF and FC Dallas and that connection that actually got us these pre-sale tickets. And the majority of FC Dallas fans that I saw there, obviously DVD members, but general FC Dallas fans that I see at games all the time, even FC Dallas staff, we were pretty much all within the 102 to 110 club section. Yeah. So we had really great seats down lower level club seats. Great view of the field, with the exception of like the just one touch line right next to you, which is going to be really interesting to see what it looks like during the World Cup. But shout out to them for making that connection and being able to get tickets at retail price, which are way too expensive to begin with. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for a game you're not even going to sell out. Like, right. It's incredible to me.
But it's a cool experience. Like I said, seeing our people out there, and as Arjun and Charlie and I got up to, it's we drink wherever we may be.
How was attendance?
Great, decent.
The official number looked low.
The official number was like 20,000.
Okay, yeah, that seems low to me. It looked.
Which, can you imagine if we had a soccer-specific stadium in DFW to host 20,000 people? Can you?
Could you imagine?
Can you imagine? But there was Dan Crook posted a shot from about 9 p.m., which was the split, because they had the second game afterwards. Dominican Republic played Suriname on the back half of that doubleheader, and if there was 500 people left, that was a lot. It was that place is, even 20,000 seems about right, and it seems like they had everybody pretty much on one side of the stadium for the most part. From what I understand, they even moved the supporters to a smaller section because there's not enough people there. Am I drunk or are you out of focus?
I was out of focus. Don't worry. Okay, I'm trying to fix that. I don't know. It's so hard to gauge that just watching it on TV. Yeah,
I will say the non-TV side, the bench side, was very empty. It was very empty, and I don't know if they reassigned tickets or whatever else, but they clearly sold one outside of the stadium first.
Yeah. Well, how'd you feel about the performance? How are you feeling as a U.S. men's fan?
I mean, optimistic. I don't think this is the team that's going to be starting for the World Cup, and
obviously, right?
Yeah, but there were some great showings by some guys who maybe hadn't had an opportunity before. Pat Ajamang, I've been a fan of him all season. Watching him in Charlotte, it's been a lot of fun. So it was especially seeing these MLS guys come up, right?
Right.
Diego Luna looks great.
Yeah.
And I'm annoyed he's not our Diego Luna, but Malik Tillman coming
Welcome
in
to the fan base.
Yeah. Malik Tillman coming in as a dual nat. He looks good, right? He's got what, 4 or 5 goals this tournament, or 3 or 4, whatever. Between 3 and 5. It might be 4. I don't know. He should have 3 on Sunday. But I think they look good. I think there's a lot to work on, but there's also a lot to build off of. What does Pulisic look like healthy coming back? What does a healthy Florian look like? What does a healthy Pepe look like? Where does Sargent fit in this mix? Where does Haji fit in this mix? Where does McKinney fit in this mix? Because he was out too. He wasn't playing. He's injured. There's a lot of big names that we're missing that, look, this guy's played a long season, and whatever the other bullshit going on with Pulisic and Landon Donovan and everybody else, we'll say what you want about the guy. I think he's a piece of shit in real life, but at the end of the day, Christian Pulisic played 120 games this season. That's a lot of minutes, and he played full minutes in almost every one of those games. That is a lot of wear and tear on the body. And if he doesn't want to come here and play in the Gold Cup, fine. I'm okay with that. Get him healthy for next year.
Right. It's always so hard to find that balance. I think it's really difficult for these high-profile players, and I don't know. We don't need to get into the whole can of worms of what all that drama is, but you had players like McKinney that I don't know. Do you think McKinney wanted to play in a Gold Cup? He was able to say, I got a tournament to play for my club team. Yeah, but I don't know. I'd be interested to see what they wanted to do. Players like that. So that's neither here nor there, but
also FIFA, please put this. The Club World Cup needs its own summer. I'm sorry, there should not be other competitions going on. It needs its own summer. Let these guys come in and play.
Yeah, well, especially if they're going to be top tier players.
Yeah. But I think that just about covers it. We're running up on an hour here. Reminder again: Wednesday afternoon, join us at Toyota Stadium in the Red Lot for a beer.
Let me ask you a question, Dennis. Sure. What was the first thing you said in this podcast? It'll probably be a short one because it's just us two.
No, we just ramble. We just run our mouths. I don't do cardio. I just run my mouth.
Incredible.
Wednesday afternoon, Toyota Stadium, Red Lot. Join us for a beer exchange. Pick up a sixer. Bring some Natty Light. I don't care. Bring something to share. Just have some fun. Come out, hang out. If you don't drink, bring some water. It's hot.
Look, we'll probably have some non-alcoholic versions there. You don't have to drink beer.
Yeah, just come, hang out, chill, talk. We'll march in together. If you are at the game and you've never been to the supporter section, come on over. There'll probably be some room. It's Wednesday afternoon. Not everybody makes it out. It's just back to life. So if you want to come over and get the supporters experience on Wednesday, come learn some chants, come hang out, and then gear up for Saturday, where we'll be tailgating starting at 4:30 in the Red Lot. We've got we'll have at least a couple of kegs on tap. We'll have some food, all free of charge. We do take donations. We do have merch for sale, but we never pressure. We never pressure for membership. We never pressure. We just want people to come hang out, right? We love this game. We love this club. And we love this community. And we just want to hang out and have fun with friends. That's all it's really about.
Can I squeeze one more thing in here real quick?
Squeeze away.
We're going to have a TIFO coming up soon that we're hoping to unveil on 90s night on July 19th, I believe.
July 19th.
Against St. Louis. We're working on getting that all sorted out right now, but be looking out for more information on that. We're going to be tracing and painting, and we're going to try to schedule those, and we're going to try and invite members to join in on that if they want to.
No, we need you. We need bodies. We're going to need some help doing this. So please, if you want to volunteer, if you have any artistic skills whatsoever, if you can draw a straight line, we need your help.
Yeah. And man, if you come to these, we're going to have beer.
Yes.
There'll be beer there. Come hang out, come drink, come chat. You don't even have to do that much work if there's enough of us. So please come out to those. And
if you can just come there and take pictures of us doing it for social media, that's helpful, right? Whatever you can do to help out, that's what we need, right?
Yeah. Come show up, do a small part. The more people we have, the less we all have to do. It'll be a really cool, fun TIFO for us to unveil. We don't get to do a lot of TIFOs nowadays. We want to get back into that. We'll be getting that together. Feel free to donate money to the fund to do a TIFO, and we'll go from there. But be looking out for more information on that.
Yeah, follow us on socials. That's going to be Facebook, Instagram. That's going to be X, formerly known as Twitter. The YouTube channel where you're likely watching this. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Amazon Music, check out the YouTube page as well. We've got a bunch of other content there as well. Like I said, Instagram and Twitter are where most of our stuff is, where the most up-to-date stuff is. Get on our mailing list if you want. We've got an email that goes out every week. We don't bombard you with emails, just a weekly update of what's going on, what's upcoming. We've got a text message list as well. Again, one text a week. We're not bombarding you. We're not blowing up your phone. Those messages are expensive, so we can't afford to do that. But, it's just an update of what's going on, what the menu is, what we've got going on this particular week. And shout out to our sponsors, Community Beer Co. We haven't mentioned them at all in this so far.
Shocking.
So, yeah, it's kind of a sober weekend, man. Not a lot going on. But shout out to Community. They provide the beer for our tailgates. So we could not do what we do without them. We love them so much.
They provide the beer. We provide the tears.
Yeah. Blood, sweat, beers. That's us. Like, share, subscribe. Guardians out.